Mikey gets mouthy. Here's your look at the new Playmates toys. Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is Babbleheads, Motormouth Mikey. Mikey loves to have fun and mess around, but all joking aside, he's natural at ninjutsu and expert with the Kasari Fundo weapon. His ninja skills are solid, and he's always ready to train and battle. Babblehead's Motormouth Mikey features 50+ phrases and sound effects. We're going to have a look at Michelangelo. The first thing we're going to do, though, is measure off to the top of his head. We did the same with the previously looked at Leonardo, and in both cases, I want to send out a big thank you to the folks over at Playmates Toys for even making these reviews possible. We're going to look at the first in inches, how tall Mikey stands, and the answer to that question is 5.6 inches in height. And we can quickly switch that. Quick it over to centimeters. What is he saying? 14.4. Almost 14.5 centimeters in height. Yes, quickly switching. Here is the height difference between him and Leonardo. You'll notice that they are different turtles. They're not simply just the same mold reused again. While I do think, though, the bodies look like they are almost carbon copies to one another, there is a considerable difference, actually, when you look at the heads. The heads are very much different, as they are different turtles, after all, different turtle species in the cartoon. Michelangelo is, of course, missing his weapon. We'll look at that quickly in a second, but I just want to show you guys the difference between the two different turtles that were provided by the folks over at Playmates Toys. If you already saw my review of Leonardo, thank you for that, by the way. Mikey comes with pretty much the exact same thing. He comes with one weapon, like Leo came with only one sword, and it only attaches into one of his hand posts. And then the other thing he comes included with is an instruction guide. One side of the guide, over here, shows you how to change the batteries, when those batteries are dying, of course. 2 AAA batteries luckily have already been installed. The folks over at Playmates Toys know that you guys want to pretty much be able to open up your turtles and immediately play with them. Far be it for them to dash your hopes by something that you would have to get home, realize quickly later, oh, I had to put in batteries. Well, they'd be happy to do that for you. The other side, over here, shows you how to interact with all the individual censored sections on Mikey. He actually has a total of 5. And again, we'll look at those in a second as well. Don't feel the need that you had to stop the video. Look at the very small fine print. Put on your reading glasses if you needed to. More than happy to cover off all of that stuff for you. So let's have a look at his accessory. Done in orange is his Kasari Fundo. His nunchuck is not included. Of course, this Mikey version of Michelangelo comes with the Kasari Fundo, which is basically like a metal star that's connected via chain to a handle, and that fits into his hand. I have already taken the liberty of turning him off. When you get him out of the packaging, he's already set to try me, so he's all ready to start talking. But I think just so I could talk a little bit before he talks over top of me, I've just set it to off for the time being. There's off, there's try me, there's on. We're going to go ahead and take the Kasari Fundo. Now this would fit into his hand, and like Leo, if I tilt it up slightly, you see how there's a little tab piece that sticks out? Once you put the weapon into his hand, it triggers that sound. And it wouldn't really matter whether you are using the sword that comes with Leo or you're using the appropriate accessory for Michelangelo. The sensor would work the same thing. You're basically just pushing in that button, so the sound effects and the audio won't change at all. And that's what he looks like with his Kasari Fundo in his hand. Now the thing about it is these turtles have articulation, but there's not really much to them. The feet move all the way around, and in some ways the arms move back and forth. Most, if not all of that, is just for a triggering sensor for the audio. His mouth does open and close. It's basically on a bobblehead, and then his eyes blink shut, open and close. Like that. That's more like the mouth gesture, but you get the idea. Again, bringing in the other turtle that we had a look at, Leonardo. Again, you can see the difference in the heads. The mechanisms inside the head will work exactly the same. Mikey does have a much bigger head. Lighter coloring, of course, and much bigger eyes, but basically they'll work the exact same way. In fact, actually, we'll just put Leo right there. He can watch as we watch the spectacle of turning on Michelangelo. Now for that, I'm going to take back out the accessory, because obviously that is going to be one thing that's going to trigger one of the sound effects, and I don't already want to have that in place when I turn on switch it to on. So we're going to go ahead and switch it to on. You'll immediately start seeing he's going to start talking, and very unlikely will he be stopping to talk anytime soon. Let's go ahead and switch it on. And then we can go ahead. He's probably going to start.
Right, you little mischief maker.
There we go.
What's the plan?
We're going to go ahead and take the Kasari Fundo and put it into his hand. You'll hear a sound effect.
Can we get the... Oh yeah, this'll do.
And why don't we start on this side? I think we did that for Leo as well.
I got skills. Give up already. Yeah, baby. I got skills.
And there's about 6 or so various different phrases and sound effects on the one side. Now again, when you add up this side, the hand,
Where do my brothers go?
this hand on over here, the trigger sensor here, and on top of the head, I could see, yes, how
All right, you little mischief maker.
that would all add up. Thank you, Mikey. How that would all add up to 50 plus phrases and sound
Let's go
effects.
find some baddies.
The other thing, of course, he has is the sensor pad on his chest. We'll go ahead and press that.
Watch it, sweaty spaghetti.
Sweaty spaghetti. Go ahead and do it again.
Give me a 3 count, baby. Hey, what I ever do to you?
And one more. We can go ahead and do the same thing on his head.
Can we get some pizza? Oh, you're so gonna get it.
Fine. Sometimes
All right, you little mischief maker.
Sometimes I find Mikey's sensor doesn't seem to work as strong as Leo's. There we go.
That was a big mistake. Battle Belching.
And one more time.
Oh my gosh! Don't knock my head off.
There we go. And the same thing for his hand. We're going to press the hand right here.
Can we get some pizza?
There we go.
High five. Sweet. Ouch! That hurt.
I think I'm actually doing it too fast. If you do it a little slower,
Whoops. Pepperoni love.
probably not a good time to do that. It does react a little bit easier.
High five.
We'll try it again on his
Work,
head.
training partner. Oh, you're so gonna get it.
There we go. So I guess the key really is slowly
Battle Belching.
and not really a lot of pressure.
Pepperoni love.
Between the bodily function sounds and the crude dialogue coming out of his mouth, there's, like I said, a whole lot that Michelangelo is saying. Again, I don't think there's any connection between the two, because again, all of them are sensor activated, so therefore they wouldn't be communicating with one another. But I guess if you want to be obnoxious, you could have both the turtles running at the same time, and then just cycle through. There are 2 different head options, 2 different sensor pads to have them going off. Now imagine that times another 2, where you have 4 turtles going. You can imagine there's going to be a whole lot of turtle talking going on. Having now a daughter myself, I can tell you firsthand that kids seem to really gravitate towards interactive toys. In fact, half her collection, and growing it seems every single day, she has toys that when she presses something, switches something, or moves something, the toy interacts with making audio clips. This one takes things to the next level, because not only is she having something that she can interact with, but the head of the turtle actually moves, blinks its eyes, and opens its mouth. So I can tell you that she's going to get a blast out of these, and as soon as the record button has turned off on this review, you can probably guess that she's going to be playing with these all afternoon. Going to that point, as a parent now, one thing when you do get interactive toys for your kids, the first thing as a parent you normally look for is where the on and off switch is. As good as the toys may be, you don't want to hear them all afternoon, so I thank the folks over at Playmates for at least making an on and off switch that's located conveniently on the side of the turtle. I don't have to take the thing apart to turn it on and off, so that's a good thing as well. These are fun turtles, and I understand as reviewing these, that they're definitely geared towards more the younger crowds than maybe the adult collectors. But again, the thing that I've always liked about Playmates toys and their turtle property is they seem to make the turtle figures as something that could be picked up as an adult collector or as a kid. The adults are probably geared towards themselves a little bit more getting the action figures, whereas the kids are probably going to be more excited for the interactive turtles like these ones right here. These ones, as far as I know, are available now in retail stores. Again, I want to send out the big thank you to the folks over at Playmates Toys for making this review and the review of Leonardo possible, as they were nice enough to send these my way. If you did manage to pick these ones up for yourself, if they are available in stores, or based on this review and this review alone, what you guys think of the new Babbleheads turtles from the new Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoon. Just in closing thoughts also as well, if you notice there is an orange clip located on the back of Michelangelo, it's the same thing as Leonardo. One of the good things about these toy lines as well, the Babbleheaded turtles, also have the fact that you can clip them onto your pocket, your belt, or anything to take the turtles on with you on the go. So that's also a nice little bonus that they include with the toys. If you are new to this channel, or let's maybe just say you're a long-time viewer and just never got around to it, make sure you hit the subscribe button and swing on over to the bell notification and make sure you turn that on, because we're going to have a whole bunch of future toy reviews coming onto this channel. As always, guys, thanks for watching as you always do, and I'll see you guys next time.